All right, and we're recording Team No Judgment team call for August 1st. So I'm pretty excited about what's happening this month actually with the Shift Shop Round 2 because it's an incredible program. You know, we're both working through it right now, and I don't know how you feel after this first week, but I feel amazing. All my challengers are like feeling really amazing. My husband's even on board with everything.
Yeah.
It's been really cool. He's actually like measuring out his food and stuff. So it's cool. So I think that we're going to get some pretty incredible customer transformations from it. And that is, I mean, we already saw what it did for Natalie and what it did for, you know, some of the other people that were in the coach test group. So then to have our own customers having that and us ourselves, you know, one thing that I always find propels my business forward so much is when I'm like 100% committed to a program and I do it and like really like follow the plan, dial in the nutrition, you know, follow all the workouts and stuff. It seems like my business just almost runs itself. I mean, obviously you still have to put the work in, but people are so, it's like your excitement is infectious. So they see that too and they get excited too and they want to know more what it's about. So that's across the board. One really easy way to make inviting not so creepy is just to be, you know, into a program and invested in and excited about it, because then people see what it's doing for you and they're like, I want that too. You know, I want that level of excitement and commitment and that sort of thing. So, oh, hey, what's up, girl? Kayla's doing it. That's great.
Hey, Kayla.
We're so excited to see your face.
Hi.
So I was just telling Stacy, Shift Shop, and I know you're having like some major awesomeness with Shift Shop this week, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Freaking love it.
yeah, it's awesome. He is so like empowering, right? You're just like,
Totally.
you know, he's telling you like you can do this, and it's so much more about the inside as well, which I think is something that you don't get. Not that the other programs don't encourage that, but he really focuses on that, and it makes such a difference. So I was telling her that I find my business is propelled forward when I'm 100% committed to a program. And as far as like, not just like not missing a workout, but like really dialing into the nutrition and, you know, buying into like all the stuff that the program is about, because people see it and they get excited because you're excited and they see you, you know, making changes and doing big things and just being really pumped, and they want that. You know, we as humans, I mean, we like think it sucks kind of to have routines sometimes, but having that routine that like makes you stronger and better is something that I think that we actually really crave, as much as we say that the routine is boring. When you get into something like that, that's a good thing and it's enriching your life every day, people see that and it comes through. And then so it's much easier to talk to people, because a lot of times when you're super committed and they see that, they just naturally reach out to you because they're curious. You know, so it's being 100% committed to your program. And plus it gives you awesome transformation pictures, which, you know, if they're not already like super excited about all the stuff that you've been sharing along the journey, when they see like, oh my God, that's a real person that I know that's actually gotten insane results. I mean, you see Natalie and how like she was in good shape anyway, and now she looks freaking incredible. And I saw her in person and she is ripped. Like she was like fixing her hair and I'm like, oh my God, biceps, you know, like just incredible. So it makes people, you know, curious. They want to know about it. They want to know what you're doing and why you're so happy and how you're so dialed in and stuff like that. And so it opens up a lot of avenues when you're 100% committed. So I can't stress that enough. Even if it's not Shift Shop, that you end up being the one that you're committed to, which I hope that you guys are, because the coach test group was really fun. But every time that I see big leaps in my business, it's been when I've been 100% committed to something. So with that, all right, so let's talk inviting, because we really have a huge opportunity this month with the second round of Shift Shop test group coming up. So that starts on August 14th. Chris is going to do, like now if you're running a test group, he's going to do the motivational videos and stuff like that he's been doing every day. So there's going to be a ton of resources out there. But to make inviting as easy as possible, you have to think about it. Number one, you can't lead with the sale. So don't go into it thinking like, oh my God, I have to talk to somebody about buying something, because that's the surest way to kill your momentum and freak yourself out in your head if all you're thinking about is making a sale. And I know that seems kind of like easier said than done sometimes when we're, you know, when we haven't hit Success Club and stuff like that, and we're like, oh my God, you know, why am I not selling or whatever? But being, like I said, you know, really focused on a program, being really dialed in, being really, really committed, that gives you the belief in yourself that you can accomplish it. And it gives you that extra layer of belief in the products and programs. Like, obviously we see, you know, our teammates and stuff like that getting these incredible transformations. But if you haven't had one of those yourself, I think it seems like harder to really, you know, it's like, you know that it works, but you have to see it for yourself. So you have to be able to like, and the only way that you're going to see that is if you dial in and you commit and you do it. And then you'll have your own transformation story. And, you know, you share the journey all along the way, but being able to get that own transformation is going to give you that layer of belief. Like, I know for sure, because I've done, and I'm not always 100% in, obviously I almost turned into a bowl of gumbo down in New Orleans because I ate so much of it. But, you know, when I'm on, then I'm on, and I'm like, I know that this works beyond a shadow of a doubt. I know that these programs work and that they can help people and make people healthier and happier and more financially free. You know, I have that belief, and it's because I have had, you know, I've gone through the programs and had the transformation. So once you have that and you have that extra layer of belief, then it's so much easier to not think of it as selling a product, but as sharing something that is good for you and that is going to make your life better. Just like you would, you know, if you tried an awesome like face mask, like one of those charcoal masks, maybe not the ones that pull the baby hairs out of your face, because those are awful, but like, you know, the ones that, you know, you try a nice face mask and you're like, oh my God, the pores on my nose are so small right now. And then you want to go out and tell your friends about it, right? Because it's awesome and it's helpful and it's done something good for you. And so it's really easy to strike up a conversation, or for it to naturally come up in conversation, like, oh my God, guess what? I've got this really awesome thing. So we have to think about our products and programs the same way. It's not pushing something useless on someone. It's taking something that has literally been a good thing in our lives and sharing that with people so that they have a good thing in their life too, you know? And not just the products and the programs, but like the community aspect. Challenge groups are really, really fun. And once you start like attracting your people and you get a challenge group going, and some are not like that. Some are, you know, really quiet and you can't get anybody to post anything and you're the only one posting in there. I have had a ton of those, but you know, but it's really fun. So keeping that fun aspect about it, and like what you're sharing with people, keeping at the forefront, you know, that you're trying to help them and you're trying to make their lives better and easier and healthier and that sort of thing. Removing the sales part of it is going to be so huge for making it easier to talk. Now, also, the thing with this business, a lot of people get in thinking it's going to be some kind of get rich quick scheme, and any kind of MLM, I don't care what it is, multi-level marketing or, you know, direct sales or however you want to classify it. They're not, no business is built overnight. So that's one thing that we have to remember going in. It's a relationship building business, relationship marketing. So if you think in terms of like relationships when you're dating, and I know most of us on this screen right now have been in our relationships for a long time, so it's like maybe kind of hard to remember what that was like. And dear God, I would not want to be out in the dating scene right now for anything, right? That'd be so awful. And there's like men in weird skinny jeans and buns and what have you. Anyway, but when when you're dating, if the person that you're in a relationship with had come up to you and was like, hello, I'm so-and-so, you want to get married? You know, you would have been like, no, go away. You know, so you have to think about this business as the same thing. You're building relationships with people. So you don't want to start right out of the gate with like, hey, did you want to buy something from me? You know, so it's really, it's a matter of getting to know people, and not just getting to know people as far as like, do you want to lose 25 or 50 pounds, but getting to know them like, you know, what do you struggle with? What has been your obstacle that's held you back from this? What do you wish you could do more of that you can't right now? You know, all of those things. And, you know, if you really look when you scroll through your news feed, you will see so many people that are crying out for help in so many different ways. And it's not just the people that are saying like, I need to lose this baby weight, or, you know, summer body. And you'll see some people even post like kind of funny self-depreciating memes and stuff like that. I always reach out to those people, and not like, hey, I saw your meme about donuts and French fries. Do you want to buy a challenge pack and be my challenge group? You know, because I know that I can help them, but that's like, that says to me that they, you know, they have some confidence issues, right? If you're posting something that's self-depreciating and meant to be kind of like sarcastically funny about an issue that you have, whether it's weight or not being able to control your eating and stuff like that, that's a cry for help that people are putting out there masked with humor. So we really have to be detectives and say, you know, is there something more to that? So, because some people are really blatant about it, and some people are just posting, you know, random things. But I always reach out to those people, and I don't start it out with anything to do with what I think that their problem might be. I just, you know, if you see somebody posting something like that, I go to their page and like look through their pictures or whatever, like, hey, I saw this really funny thing that you posted, or oh my gosh, I saw your vacation, or whatever, just normal conversational stuff that you give a crap about. I mean, if they're posting like about, I don't know, Kayla really likes BMX racing. So if somebody was posting they were at a race or something, then she could go and be like, oh my God, I saw your race pictures. Like, how was the event, right? I would never do that because I don't know anything about BMX stuff or racing or anything like that. But you can find common ground with people to start a conversation. And then it's not weird because you're just conversating with them. Like they're just a normal person, you know? Or you don't even have to private message them. You can, you know, if they post a picture of something that really speaks to you or that you think is really adorable or something like that, that's a good way to start. Just little comments. Like, I don't have kids, but a ton of people that I work with have kids. And so they're constantly posting cute kid pictures. And I'm on there like, oh my gosh, she's the sweetest, you know, oh, look at those little cheeks and stuff like that. You just want to be in their periphery so that you're not coming out of nowhere. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. You don't want to just randomly message them out of nowhere. But if you're like, you know, commenting on their photos here and there, liking their photos and saying like, oh my gosh, your little girl's so cute, or, you know, that's a really awesome outfit or whatever, then they see your name. So then when you do finally message them and like, hey, I saw such and such on your page, then they're not like, who the hell is this girl? They're like, oh yeah, that's a girl that's in, yeah. And, you know, and a lot of times if you're interacting with their posts, they're going to come over and interact with yours too. So then as you're putting your story out there and you're sharing your journey and they see you commenting on their stuff, and then your stuff is going to start popping up in their newsfeed, because that's how Facebook works now. It's like whoever you interact with the most is what you're seeing, which is dumb sometimes because there's other people that you want to see, but you know, Facebook rules the world. So, but then as you're going over, you know, you're interacting with them. So then more of your stuff is popping up in their newsfeed and they're seeing this journey that you're on. And, you know, eventually maybe something is going to speak to them. I can't tell you how many people right now, I can tell you how many people in the last 2 weeks since I came back from New Orleans have messaged me out of nowhere. And I occasionally see their posts and, you know, I like and comment and whatever, but they have reached out to me and been like, hey, can you tell me some more about this program that you're doing? Can you tell me some more, you know, about your meal plan that you talk about and stuff like that? And it's just where I've liked or commented on a couple of their things, and now they're seeing more of my stuff, and they see it more often and more often and more often. And so it just all logically flows together. And then it's not weird, and I don't have to pick their name out of a list and go, who am I going to talk today? Let me message this person, and then get all freaked out that I haven't built any kind of relationship with this person, you know, because you get those Do you guys get those people? Like, I know Kayla was super frustrated about It Works, and they were all like trying to get her to buy their wraps. I got so many of those. I'm like, clearly I don't want your stupid wraps. But it was like they were just copying and pasting a message like, hey girl, I've got all these wraps on sale. You want to buy some wraps? And it's, so if you can take the time to do these little interactions that are going to let people, into your world, then it takes all the weirdness out of it, because a lot of times they're going to reach out to you. I mean, you're still going to have to reach out. I still initiate conversations all the time, but generally never do I ask about something fitness related right away, unless like there was a girl the other day that had posted, I saw that she and a couple of other girls, they had been tagging each other in photos where they were going running a few times a week. And then she posted a sweaty selfie and was like, I'm determined to get this baby weight off no matter what. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, I saw your post. I saw your sweaty selfie. I think that's really awesome, because more women need to like not give a crap and just put it out there. So girl, I thought that was amazing. And I was like, are you a coach too? So it wasn't weird because it was something that she had publicly posted about, that she was trying to lose weight. Here she was in her sweaty selfie. And I'm like, hell yeah, girl power, like showing people that it's cool to be sweaty and work your butt off and be a mom and whatever. And I just said, are you a coach too? And she's like, oh no, I'm not a coach, and she's like, but I've been following some of your stuff and blah, blah, blah. And so we started talking and she ended up buying a challenge bag. But it just took me reaching out, and I didn't even approach her about fitness really, other than something she had already put out there. But you can start a conversation about anything, and it might take, it's not like when you start a conversation, you can't go into it expecting like, oh, I talked to this person, so they're definitely going to buy a challenge pack today, but planting those seeds and having that interaction with them is going to make you show up more in their world. And then as you share your journey, and not just, I drink my shake and I do my workout, but like struggles that you have along the way, things that you feel vulnerable about. And I know that's really, really hard I know for a long time, like I was caught up in like, I can't show anybody that there's any kind of chinks in the armor. I just want it to look, like I'm a really good coach and I never miss a workout and I never miss a shake and I never miss a meal, but that's not authentic to people either. I mean, they feel the struggle, when they see that you've got something that you have struggled with in the past or that you're currently struggled with or whatever. That's what's going to make you attractive to them, because they're going to say, oh, she's going to understand how I feel. So it's not weird if I message her, because she knows how it is to, be a super busy mom and feel like you're being pulled in 800 different directions, but somehow she manages to make it happen. So let me reach out to her and figure that out. Or she knows what it's like to be a busy professional with a long commute and have to try to fit everything in, or, whatever. Just you can make a story out of anything once you know what your story is, and what your struggles are. But you have to be willing to share that. And sharing that gets easier with practice, just doing it. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. And always, 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 you guys, if there's ever something that you want to do, like you think you want to do a post about and you can't really figure out how to word it, or if you've written it down, you're like, oh, something else just sound right or whatever. If you need a sounding board, send it to me. I do that with Nat, like not so much anymore, but in the beginning, I did it all the time. My very first coming out post, I was like, can you read this and tell me if it sounds ridiculous? Because I was so afraid to put it out there. And so like, you can use me and you can use your other teammates and stuff as a sounding board. That's what we're all here for. And that's part of this community aspect, so, but you have to share it. It gets easier with practice. It gets easier as you, you do your personal development, and not just reading it. Like, we can read through a million books, but until we really like implement and take to heart what's in those books, we're not going to get any stronger on the inside. And a strong inside equals much easier conversations, because you don't have as much self-doubt. I'm not saying that self-doubt always goes like completely away. There are some people I think that appear to not have any self-doubt, but we've all got it, and that's okay. But the more we can do to strengthen our minds against that and to pull ourselves out of those, stories that we're all telling ourselves. Like, there's a book that I'm reading right now, and she talks about like seeing your life on a movie screen and like, what's the story that you've been telling yourself on this movie screen? And like, you can rewrite the script anytime. It's your life, so, but you have to be willing to do it. And it's hard, but it's harder to stay stuck in something that really freaking sucks and sucks the life out of you, So as long as you're practicing sharing your story, you're practicing with your, practicing what you're learning in your personal development, it's going to make it easier because you're not going to look at it as like, oh my God, I have to go out here and make a sale, and I don't know if I can, and I don't know if anybody even cares about what I have to say or anything like that. You'll eventually learn that like, it is not, nothing in this world is as big a deal as we think it is. The longer that I'm in this profession, the more that I'm like, okay, that doesn't matter, because like, I know there was one girl I was talking with last week, and she was like, oh, I'm just really afraid to like reach out because, what if they say no? And I'm like, what if they do? What happens then? Like, are you going to lose your house? Does your husband not love you anymore? Like, do all your friends not want to talk? No, none of that. None of the important things are affected by if you share a really good thing that has improved your life with someone and they say, no, thank you. Like, nothing changes, right? And in a week, it's not going to matter. And most of these people we only see on Facebook anyway. So what's that going to mean for you if they say no? They're still that seed has been planted. No doesn't mean no forever. It never, never, never does. I'm telling you what. But it takes some people longer to come around. And the ones that are, that do say no 3 or 4 times or whatever, that's fine. You've still planted that seed, and still you're going to be in their mind if they do ever decide to come around. So if we can like take the stigma away from no and take the fear out of it, because it's just a word. Yes, it's just a word. No, it's just a word. They mean, they indicate one thing or another, but somebody telling you no on an opportunity that you're sharing with them does not mean that the world is ended. It doesn't mean that you're a horrible person. It doesn't mean that you have failed in any way. It just means that it's not the right time for them, but it's the right time out there for someone else. So that, just keeping that in mind and working toward that is going to be really, really super helpful. But I mean, seriously, guys, like, conversations are where it's at in this business. So we have to get over this whole ickiness and stuff like that. We have to figure out a way to get past it because, the law of percentages, if you want to add 2 people, you have to talk to like 20 people. It's the 10 times rule, which is a really, really good book, by the way, if you guys are looking for a personal development read. The 10 times rule. It lit a fire under my butt like nothing else when I read it. And I had 2 of the best months in my business that I've ever had up until now. But the whole concept is, for every goal that you have, the effort has to be 10 times more what you actually think it's going to be. Because, you might talk to 100 people and 10 will say yes. And that's a really good, 10% is a really good conversion rate. And 10% doesn't sound like very much, but it is. But you have to have so many conversations because the likelihood goes up that somebody's going to say yes the more people that you talk to. So, but it doesn't. Please remember the dating analogy when you're going into this. Do not just approach them with, hey, you want to buy this? And even if it's somebody that you've been talking to for a while, like Stacey, I know you talked to that lady last week and you guys had talked a little bit back and forth about her, she's in the running group and she needs to get her nutrition in check and stuff like that. So you can take those little clues that people give you and sort of expand on that more. So like, oh, you mentioned you needed, to get your nutrition in check. Like, can you take me through a typical day of eating for you? And then they'll tell you the kind of stuff that they're eating. And then you can kind of figure out, hey, they might need to eat a little more. A lot of people, that's their thing. They can't lose weight because they're not eating enough, or they need to eat cleaner, or that sort of thing. The questions that I always ask people once I do get into the conversation are, take me through a typical day of eating for you. How would you rate your fitness on a scale of 1 to 10? What are your goals as far as like, what you would like to accomplish, whether it's working for a program with me or like just in general, or you want to like lose weight or tone up or whatever. And what is the biggest obstacle that you feel has been holding you back from achieving that? And that's going to tell you so much about what they need. Because most of the objections that you get, if somebody says, oh, I don't have the money for that or whatever, that's like a lot of money and stuff, they don't see the value in it. So asking questions like that are going to enable you to figure out what it is really that's holding them back. Because a lot of times it's just fear of something. And the better that you can do figuring out what they need, the easier the conversation is going to be, because you're going to be able to say to them, to address all of those needs. If there's a lady that has issues with nutrition, like you had, Stacy, like, oh, I'm in a 5K group, but like, I don't really eat that well. Like, you know what? I struggled with that too. And you always want to identify, if it's something that you've struggled with it too, like, oh my gosh, I had the hardest time trying to figure out what to eat and when to eat. And there's just so much information out there. Like, I totally get it. That's one thing I really love about our programs. All of them have, a nutrition guide that comes with them, and it's super simple. Some of them even have like grocery lists and recipes, so everything's done for you. That was a big thing with Shift Shop that sold a lot of people when I was talking to them, was like, I'm like, listen, all the hard work's done. You literally just have to shop and cook your food because it's all done for you for the 3 weeks. So, figuring out something like that, or somebody that's, a busy mom and doesn't have a lot of time to spend working out. A lot of people think you have to work out for hours a day to get in really good shape. And clearly you don't, so busy moms, like with Kayla, you could say, hey dude, I totally get it. Like I've got a 4-year-old and I've got a long commute, and some days I just don't know how I'll get it in either. That's what I really love about these programs, is I can get an excellent workout in like 25 to 30 minutes a day, and I'm still seeing results. And, you can even like, they have some kids workouts. They actually have, that UV2 that just came out back in May, the dancing one or whatever. They have a kids version that moms and kids can do together. So that would be really attractive to a mom that doesn't have a lot of time, or, is like trying to work out, but is like, oh my God, all my kids are like crawling all over me while I'm trying to work out and I can't get it. Like, oh, hey, we actually have like mommy and me workouts. We have family workouts that would allow you to incorporate all that. So like, you just inviting is not, it doesn't have to be a big scary thing. It's literally just getting to know people, like giving a crap about what it is that's holding them back, because we have something that is going to address pretty much anything that they can come up with. And most of them are money and time and organization. We've got stuff for all that. We've got stuff that answers all that, right? Yeah. So just, I know that it's, what do you guys, tell me what you find scariest about, like, what is your biggest hurdle with doing conversations?
I think you kind of addressed some of it. I just don't talk to people on a normal basis anyway. So, like, I have trouble starting conversations because I don't normally talk to anyone. And I don't, I talk to my friends usually on like, if somebody doesn't message me and talk to me, I'm probably at all. It's just some of this, like, commenting on their stuff and talking to them, going and fighting. Good.
Okay. What about you, Kayla? What do you find difficult?
Some people's attitude towards it. Like, I literally had one girl told me that when I was ready to work for a real business, to give her a call.
Wow.
And all she did was sell makeup. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that says a lot more about them than it does about you. I mean, people are in their own heads a lot. You know what I mean? So, and that's where like personal development and that sort of thing, and removing that emotional attachment to, like, people are nasty sometimes. Every once in a while they are, and it's hard not to be like, well, F you, you know, continue being a giant and then talk to me, in 5 years. So it's really hard not to do that. But, when you believe in your product and your programs, and you know that it helps people, and you know that it's a good thing, and you're convinced of that, and you're strong in your mission to share that, because it really is a gift that we can give people. I mean, I can't tell you the ways that it has improved my life by not only my fitness and my health and my husband's health and my family's health, like my mom is finally getting on the bandwagon and she's having my dad eat better and stuff like that, so there's that. And then I've made these incredible friendships. I've got you guys, and you guys saw my video the other day about how my life has been. And we've got our larger team, and I've been able to like travel. Like Summit was a blast. I'm telling you guys, you should totally think about going. It's in Indy next year. We can even all carpool because it's not that far to drive. So
yeah, I drove past it on Sunday.
Oh yeah, you did. How far into the trip was it? It was like 6 hours, right? 6 or 7 hours from Charleston.
It took me like 6.5 to get to. I'm in West Lafayette, so it's like another half an hour, 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Past Indianapolis.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of really awesome things that this business offers, and so you're gonna have people occasionally that are gonna be kind of nasty, and it is what it is. But you can't just let one person. Here's something that one of the speakers at Summit shared with us. So he was like, think about all the people that like you, right? Not just your immediate family either. He's like, how many people actually like you and think that you're pretty awesome, right? There's a lot. Look at how many Facebook friends you have. They all like you and think that you're pretty awesome because they're your friend on Facebook. Look at, your immediate circle of friends. Look at your team. And he was like, there's 25,000 of us sitting here together, and we all think we're pretty awesome. So there you go right there. There's 25 or so thousand people just at Summit that, everybody was cool, and like they'll think you're awesome. And he's like, how many of you can think of like one person that really, really dislikes you? And of course everybody's like, And he's like, how about like 5 people that really dislike you? And not as many people were like, oh, me. And he's like, how about 10? And can you think really of like 10 people that seriously hate your guts and wish that you weren't around? Most people can't. I mean, you have a few people that maybe don't like you very much, but not to. And he's like, okay, so like, why are you going to let just a few people dictate how you feel about yourself when there are so many more, like exponentially more, that think that you're amazing and awesome and a wonderful person and worthwhile, right? So think about it that way. You have like a few people that maybe they don't think it's your jam or whatever, and that's fine. That's totally fine. They don't have to like you, because there's a whole bunch of other people that do, and that will want what you have to offer, and listen to what you have to say. But you have to get in it. I mean, you have to just do it. I have actually that little Post-it note by my computer that says, don't be a bitch, hit send. And that's a good reminder, because literally, guys, what people say to you, they are just words. And words can't cause you any physical harm. And what somebody else says to you doesn't have any bearing on how your life goes, So, but just look at it as a relationship. Start with liking pictures and commenting on a couple of things. And that's going to bring you into their realm and have them kind of know who you are. And then the more that you do that, the more that you're going to interact with them. They're going to interact with you. And then you'll find things as they're coming up in your news feed that you can maybe message them about. And then, if you're sharing your journey, if you're like consistently sharing on social media your coaching journey, and that's another thing too, coaching and the rest of your life, they can't be separate things. Like, you are a coach. If anybody asked me before I stopped being a paralegal, when I started coaching, you know, and people were like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I'm a paralegal and I'm also a health and fitness coach, because that's what I am. So, you know, so the more that you consistently share that, then the people that you're interacting with are going to see it, and they're going to want to know, or it's just going to naturally come up in conversation and stuff like that. And so just try not to be too afraid of it, because if they say no, it's okay. And if they don't answer your message back, that's okay. Like, the world's not going to end because they didn't answer your message or something like that. And I have some scripting and stuff that you can use to actually, if somebody hasn't answered your message, I usually just send them like, hey, I guess this wasn't for you. Like, is there some way that I could have explained it better or something like that? You know, that usually will get them to respond back. So I've got a bunch of scripting for that. I'll get that together and post that in there for you guys. But anytime you're struggling with conversations, feel free to screenshot and send it to me and we can troubleshoot, because I'm pretty sure any objection that you guys have heard, I've probably heard it too. Uh-oh. I think Stacy's internet finally gave up. She's at a hotel. So anyway, so yeah, so that's what I've got. Just, you know, just think of it like dating. You wouldn't ask somebody to marry you on the first date. So don't ask them to marry you on the first challenge pack conversation either. It doesn't even have to be about challenge packs. Just talk like a normal person. Just be as normal as we, you know, misfits can be. And do your best, and don't worry about anybody else, okay? So definitely in the team page for this week, I'm going to go in when we're done and put up a new monthly calendar and stuff like that. And I want everybody to put their goals in. So if you guys would think about those, and then we can start putting a roadmap together for those as well. All right. You guys have anything, any questions, anything you'd like to add? Anything? Well, all right. Well, thank you both so much for showing up, and I will see you guys next week. And I'm sure I'll talk to you in the interim anyway, but I'll see you guys on next week. Bye.